Hey, it's 6 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So first, I'm Eric Savavic, and I'm here as a resident of the area. Pastor Jim O'Brien, he was supposed to chair this meeting tonight, and oddly enough, he ended up...
There's several people coming to the park.
All right. But oddly enough, he ended up in the hospital getting some tests done. So I'm going to shoot him some prayers, but also, when next time we see him, let's all say, good job, or we appreciate what he does for all the community here. On that note as well then, I have been around Hill Station last couple of weeks and just talking to the people and finding out what's going on. Just doing this as a resident once again of the area. And this is a great town. We have all the greatest people right here in Hill Station. The first item on the agenda I want to talk about was the sewer project. So the municipal authority sent out 2 or 3 letters and it came back with no response. So the idea is that I'd like to be reading one list here that is maybe 35 names or so. And these people either have a right-of-way, no right-of-way agreement has been signed quite yet. There may have been changes in the drawings that may have occurred, or name changes. I even saw some that were addressed corrections that were needed to be done. So the thought is, as I read some of these names, let's be neighborly, and if you hear some of the names or the address that's nearby you, reach out to those people and say, call. The main objective is to call the municipal authority. If everyone has a paper and pen, the municipal authority number is the 724-746-4848. 724-746-4848. So we're just the residents, and the idea is that, if you hear these names and you see the person in the yard, say, hey, could you give the municipal authority a call and see where you stand in regards to your right-of-way project. Some things have been modified. Maybe some addresses were wrong. The municipal authority didn't have some corrected numbers. So there lies the reason that we wanted to come together as a group just from Hill Station. First on the list, I'll say, they're trying to get hold of or still need a right-of-way for Lawrence Rafosco. The address is 391 First Street. There was a PCT Property Management, 65 Second Street, Lawrence. Jeffrey Safkos, I talked to Jeff the other day, and I believe he called. Ronna Romson, does anyone know a number on her? Or 7 Bernardo Street is where she lives. So if you're able to get, someone might live near there, and just give her that number, 724-746-4848. The Warmans, James Scott Warman, that would be 524 Georgetown Road. Kevin and Denise Uchal, UCHAL, 30 Bernardo Street. So reach out to them. Lorraine Briselli, 484 Georgetown Road. 488, that was correct. Next one was 484 Georgetown Road, and that's Shannon McMillan and Michael Lecter.
That's us right here.
That's us.
Excellent, very well. So the idea, just to present to you, call that 724-746-4848. I don't know if those, did the letters come to you in the mail? Or?
So we did get a letter, and I did speak to David, I believe his name is, that's who Walter told me to call.
Perfect.
He did say that I was supposed to be receiving new documentation in the mail. That was 3.5 months ago. I have not gotten anything.
Very well.
And Lorraine also, who is our neighbor, is supposed to be getting new paperwork too, which is why we haven't signed anything, because nothing's come.
Okay, all right.
Okay, on that Lawrence Rafosco,
Yeah.
he told me that his lawyer responded to that.
Okay, thank you. And you know what, I don't really need the details. I will get that one back, and yours to Mr. Fosco, it will be on film and they can see that. But the idea is just to come together as a group and relay that information, 724-746-4848. Earl Dressler, 482 Georgetown. Stanley said, he knows about that, is working on that. Leanne Porcher, 464 Georgetown. Louis J. Jr. or Cheryl Finaghy, 12 Circle Drive. Dan Tatman, 8 Circle Drive. Robert and Colleen Roell, R-O-E-L-L, 5 School Street, if you know them, yeah, 724-746-4848. Angelo and Jessica Porcher, 432 Georgetown Road. Kenneth A. Sharon Petrus, 418. Sarah Schweitzer, 408 Georgetown Road. Michael Gobrish, 404 Georgetown Road. Patnesky Stephen Charles. I did speak with Angela. That's the Patnesky home, the second street in Lawrence. So I think Francis or, yeah, if you see those guys, I think Angela's working on that. You're just getting them to call the number at the municipal authority. The next was Carolyn Bruno, 60 Boyce Street. Next was Sadowski again, he's aware we got a corrected address. See how that happens? Some of those may have gone to just the wrong place. Helen Grimm, yep, she's going to contact them, or she stated she would. Michael and Pamela Bioni, 367 Georgetown, and MMR Constructors Incorporated, 102 Springfield Drive, Cannonsburg. Dollard Leasing, 19 Mayview Road. Marlene and Karen Bohr, B-O-U-R, 1128 Valley View Drive, Lawrence. Michael P. Klein, 308 Georgetown Road. William M. and Arlen Wasco, 388 Georgetown Road. And the next was James Scott Warman, again, that's for the 424 property, and Tom DeBlasio, 14 Church Street. All right, so that was kind of the summary there of just those people, and if you see them, tell them to call that number, and we'll get this project moving along at a much better rate. I was asked also by the chairperson for that, the municipal authority. Once again, I'm just a resident of the area, but the chairperson was saying that if anyone had a financial hardship, yeah, that's another reason. So if you know of a neighbor or yourself that you believe they may be in a financial hardship, they are starting to put a list together at the municipal authority, so it would be wise for those people to call and say, hey, put my name on that, and that way they'll start to have that documented. Very well, that's that. The stormwater management was the next item or the topic to be addressed. So the idea is that a few of the supervisors have been discussing that maybe we are at the place in time that we need to investigate stormwater for the town. I talked to Stush a couple days ago, and he said, yeah, somewhere in the middle of town, water was way up the calf muscles, and it's just really high. So the thought was, Tommy said, well, maybe something like this should be done when they're tearing up the streets to do the sewage. So that was just a thought to present to you guys. We'll do what you desire. But the first step would be for the supervisors to probably authorize Gateway Engineers to do a study and see what should be done, maybe different phases of the study, but the stormwater sewer project.
So all that information should be available when they start doing the sewer work.
So the thought is that if we hear from you guys and you say, yeah, go and investigate it, send Gateway Engineers and let them figure out what a cost might be to the township.
Wouldn't they have to know the date that the sewage is going to start?
That's right, they would. But the preliminary for us as the supervisors would be authorizing the money to go spend and have the engineering done so that that's ready to come back and that could be analyzed.
So, question for you though.
Yeah.
Georgetown state maintained, correct?
Right.
Right. I live on Georgetown. My front lawn gets flooded out all the time. So we still, I mean, I have a big rocks and everything else to stop the water from going into my basement.
Yeah.
With that being a state maintained road, does this apply to our local municipality
Yeah.
for the stormwater?
Ours is, well, the stormwater is a project that would be township wide. So, yeah, we'd have to get that addressed or figure something out, or see if the study could include that. Tom, do you have any added insight on that? Tom Cassiolo, the
In
supervisor?
fact, if from a state road, if they can't handle it and it runs off the state road onto the top of your property, our system could pick it up.
Okay.
Again, PennDOT mostly just has inlets and catch basins. So if it can't handle it, it's running off the road toward onto property that's part of Cecil Township, the engineer would look at that and could know he has to design the system to try to catch a lot of that runoff.
Right, if it's flooded, like right now, any rain we get floods 4 houses, right down from the S&B drain. It goes on the road and then goes right off the road and floods everybody's houses.
Well, that's what a study would do. The engineers would look at the whole system. Now, the advantage in Lawrence here is, you might be aware, Lawrence is built on a real mild knoll. And there's considered 5 different watersheds on this knoll here, which means that some water goes this way, some goes this way, some goes this way, 5 different ways. Where normally in a village or a community, if say they're on a hillside, you have to do the whole system because it all ties into one, say, main pipe going through the town, like we did in the village of Southview. But here, the engineer could do an analysis, and each area where there's a watershed, it could be a different type of system it needs. It might be just larger pipes, it might be more inlets. And I don't know anything about engineering for stormwater, but I know that they would look at that. And from our aspect, we're looking at that the sewers, the lines and the streets are going to be torn up, and yards are going to be torn up. To us, this would be the time to
It
do
would be
it.
nice to get storm sewers in here, everybody pumps their basements out, they're pumping it right back in. You know what I mean, there ain't a storm drain in this town.
Well, that's the point. He would design a system, and then we could, he would give us an estimate on the pricing too, but you don't know until you get it designed. And stormwater engineers do that.
Here's the thing though, the way the sewage is gonna come through the back alley, my backyard.
They told us they couldn't go on Georgetown
And
because
they
it's
can't
state.
go on Georgetown Road, it's a state road, and they can't, the state is not allowing the sewage to come down right down the main drag. So that's not gonna be able to correlate with the sewage. When they go to do
Sure, yeah, they're not, they could be in completely different areas. The sewers are all gravity flow from your basements,
Right.
basically for your lowest level of your house. Stormwater is where it hits underground from wherever it runs when it hits on the ground.
Right.
It has nothing to do with flushing sewers.
No, I know, but I'm saying you guys are talking about, well, when they're putting the sewer in, then we can put the storm drain in. At
Well,
the same
I'm not
time.
saying they're in the same ditch. I'm saying when you cross roads and tear up different areas of the roads, the roads would all be repaved.
Right.
So if the storm system requires it being torn up over here, the same street, they tore it up over here, the road would be paved, but it makes sense if we can get it done to get the storm system in wherever it belongs.
Okay.
Okay, this flyer says Lawrence residents. Is Georgetown part of Lawrence residents?
It's Georgetown Estates.
Yeah, down there. Is that part of Lawrence?
Well, they're not a part of the
It
sewer
is.
project.
Not this,
Not the sewer project, but
They're
yeah,
on the
they're part
sewer.
of Lawrence, it's Lawrence address.
They have mailing address for the post office out here.
I believe they do, yeah.
Oh, I just want to clarify because this says Lawrence residents.
Right.
I didn't know they went by Lawrence down there.
Yeah, their mailing address.
Oh, yeah? Oh.
They go by Lawrence, Georgetown Estates too, That's Lawrence Hill Station. This is Hill Station up
The
here.
sign used to come, when you come into Lawrence, it's right up the road from where you turn into Georgetown.
Right. So, do you see the idea of that? And this is just something that some of the township supervisors were working towards, but, yeah, can you see that it might fit or work with tying in with the sewer project? Could I know this is premature and you maybe need time to think about it as well, but could I see a sign of show of hands that would be in favor of investigating the supervisors to spend that money on an engineering report? If you're in favor, raise your hand.
And what is the total number going